Do you know how many of the actors who made you laugh every week on this show are actually still here today? Bewitched felt like magic sneaking into a normal American living room. It was about a witch who fell in love with an ordinary man and just wanted a quiet, normal life, except her family kept dragging chaos through the front door. Underneath the jokes and the nose twitch, it was really about love trying to survive constant interruption. And by the end of this list, you will find out that one twitch of that famous nose came from someone who was already fighting something far bigger than magic. Number 1, we have the actress who made an entire generation believe a simple nose twitch could be the funniest thing on television. She turned a suburban witch into someone every viewer wanted as a neighbor, a friend, even a secret crush. This is Elizabeth Montgomery, and she was only 31 years old when she first played Samantha Stevens. She kept building her career long after the show ended, taking on serious dramatic roles to prove she was more than just a sitcom face. Then, in 1995, at just 62 years old, she lost her battle with colon cancer. The woman who made magic look effortless is gone, but that nose twitch is still one of the most copied moves in television history. Number 2, we have the man who somehow made pure panic look hilarious every single week. Picture someone who spent years chasing the next big career move and finally landed the role that would define him, only for his own body to force him out of it. This is Dick York, the original Darren Stevens, and he was 36 when he took the part. Years of severe back pain built up behind the scenes, and eventually it became too much for him to keep working. He passed away in 1992, at 63, after suffering from emphysema. You watched him flinch and stumble through every spell gone wrong, never knowing the real struggle was happening off camera the whole time. Number 3, we have the actor who had to walk into a hit show and somehow make you forget there was ever anyone else in the role. That is an almost impossible job, and he pulled it off. This is Dick Sargent, who stepped in as the second Darren Stevens at 39 years old. He had already built a solid career in film before Bewitched, and later in life he became known and respected for openly sharing his own identity with the public. He died in 1994 at 64 after a battle with prostate cancer. Two different men, two very different energies, one house full of magic that never slowed down for either of them. Number 4, we have the woman who could destroy someone with a single raised eyebrow and somehow make it the funniest thing you saw all week. She was already a powerhouse before this role, with unforgettable work behind her, and she brought every bit of that experience into one dramatic mother-in-law. This is Agnes Moorehead, who played Endora at 63 years old, already a legend from radio, film, and classics like Citizen Kane. In 1974, at 73, she passed away after a battle with uterine cancer. Every entrance she made felt like a storm walking through the door, and honestly, the show was never quite as electric without her. It has been over 60 years since Bewitched first aired, and when you stop to think about that, almost nobody left from the original cast is still with us today. Number 5, we have the man who somehow made corporate stress look like a full-contact sport. He played the boss everyone has had at least once, the one who could turn a tiny hiccup into a full-blown emergency. This is David White, who played Larry Tate at 48 years old, and Bewitched became the role that made his face instantly familiar to viewers everywhere. He suffered a heart attack and passed away in 1990 at 74. If you ever laughed at a boss overreacting in real life, you were probably picturing him without even realizing it. Number 6, we have the actress who made being nosy into an art form, always one gasp away from blowing the whole secret wide open. She became a true fan favorite almost instantly, and her reactions alone could carry an entire scene. This is Alice Pearce, the original Gladys Kravitz, who was 46 when the show began. In 1966, at only 48 years old, she died after a battle with ovarian cancer. She never even got the chance to see how big the show would become, which honestly makes every one of her wide-eyed stares even harder to watch now. Subscribe now, because we drop new stories like this every 2 days, and you do not want to miss the ones still coming. Number 7, we have the actress who took over a role fans already loved and somehow made it work all over again. Louder, sharper, and even more suspicious than before, she gave the neighborhood spy a whole new kind of energy. This is Sandra Gould, the second Gladys Kravitz, who was 50 years old when she stepped into the part. She kept working steadily across television and film for years afterward. She passed away in 1999 at 82 following a stroke. Two actresses, one paranoid neighbor, and somehow both of them made you believe she was always one window peek away from the truth. Number 8, we have the actor who perfected the art of looking completely done with everything happening around him. He had already spent years playing warm, grounded supporting characters in classic Hollywood before this role found him. This is George Tobias, who played Abner Kravitz at 63 years old. He died in 1980 at 78 after a battle with bladder cancer. His whole comedy came from simply not wanting to deal with any of it, and honestly, You probably know someone exactly like that right now. Number 9, we have the actress who brought calm, quiet charm into a house that was constantly one deal away from disaster. Before sitcoms, she had already worked with legends, including a role in one of Hitchcock's own films. This is Casey Rogers, who played Louise Tate at 40 years old. She died in 2006 at 80 after a battle with cancer. She always felt like the one person in the room who understood the madness better than anybody else, and maybe that is exactly why audiences trusted her so much. Number 10, we have the actress who played the very first version of Louise Tate, bringing a polished, almost effortless elegance into every scene. This is Irene Vernon, who was 42 when the show began. She stepped away from acting not long after her time on Bewitched ended. She died in 1998 at 76 following heart failure. Her version of Louise gave the early seasons a smooth, composed energy that quietly shaped how the character would be remembered. Number 11, we have the actress who made forgetfulness feel like the sweetest thing in the world. Every spell she messed up somehow landed as more charming than the ones that actually worked. This is Marion Lorne, who played Aunt Clara at 81 years old, already one of the most beloved faces on the whole show. In 1968, at 84, she passed away after suffering a heart attack. If you ever forgot where you put your keys and laughed about it anyway, you were basically channeling Aunt Clara without knowing it. Number 12, we have the actor who turned mischief into an entire personality, the kind of guest who could wreck your whole day and still leave you laughing. He became one of television's most unforgettable comic voices, known for sharp delivery and unforgettable game show appearances. This is Paul Lynde, who played Uncle Arthur at 39 years old. He suffered a heart attack and died in 1982 at just 55. He brought a spark to that house that nobody else could ever quite replace. Time really does not slow down for anyone, and it is strange to realize the baby on this show is now the only original lead still with us today. Number 13, we have the actor who somehow made every entrance feel like the start of a brand new disaster. This is Bernard Fox, who played the wonderfully overconfident Dr. Bombay at 40 years old. He built a long career in classic television with memorable roles on Hogan's Heroes and The Andy Griffith Show. He died in 2016 at 89 after suffering heart failure. He always showed up like he had the answer, and somehow that just made everything even more chaotic than before. Number 14, we have the actress who made shy, scattered clumsiness feel completely lovable. She built a long career in both television and theater, later becoming familiar to a whole new generation of fans. This is Alice Ghostley, who played Esmeralda at 42 years old. She died in 2007 at 81 after a battle with colon cancer. She always felt one sneeze away from total disaster, and somehow that made her one of the most endearing characters on the entire show. Number 15, we have the actress who was only a toddler when she became part of television history, too young to even understand the magic she was already part of. After the cameras stopped rolling on her childhood role, she quietly built a completely different life away from regular acting. This is Erin Murphy, who played Tabitha Stevens at just 2 years old. She later moved into television appearances, business projects, and charity work, and as of 2026, she is 62 and still makes occasional public appearances. Drop a comment below if you remember her as that tiny witch in training, because out of this entire cast, she is the last original lead still with us. Share this with anyone who grew up loving this show, because most of the people who made it magic are gone, and the ones still here will not be here forever either. Here is the part that hits the hardest. The little girl who played Tabitha, the one who was too young to even remember filming most of it, is now the last living link to a show that first aired more than 60 years ago.